All right, welcome everybody to the Extreme Agents coaching call today. We're happy to have everybody that's joined us. Jesse, how are you?
I am fantastic. How about you?
Super, super. Well, today we're gonna talk about a couple of different things. We're gonna talk about reaching out to our database and kind of what to say this time of year, how to do that, and then go over a couple of objections that are coming up that I'm getting on a daily basis with prospecting calls. Nothing out of the ordinary, but just some ways to handle those. So Jesse, why don't you start us off and tell us, give us a couple of pointers on talking to our database and what that looks like.
All right, cool guys. So I know that a lot of times I've run into this scenario where I'm like, I have all these people that I've talked to in the past. How do I follow up with them? What do I say to them? Like maybe you've already followed up with them and asked them your typical, hey, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell real estate? Everybody should do that. But a lot of times you're like, what else can I say, right? And I've talked to and been trained by some of the best of the best with huge databases, and they get a good chunk of their business every year, whether that's, 50%, 60, 70% of their business from the people that they've already had a conversation with. And that's because they continually add value to them. So things you can do to add value and be a resource to database is talk to them about the things that they need that makes their life easier. Like one of the things you can do every single year is you can send them any information that they need about their taxes regarding their property, or connect them to somebody that can help them, right? Maybe it's the title company or the attorney that helped with the close. Maybe it's their closing statement. Maybe just, again, sharing a good blog article or a video on the topic of property taxes and things like that. Maybe there's going to be a vote in your area on property taxes or something that affects them as a homeowner or as a potential homeowner. Sharing that, being a resource is a great way to connect with your database. And you're not calling them saying, hey, give me something. You're calling to show, hey, I'm an advisor. I'm somebody that can help you. Another thing is investments. Like everybody should be an investor at some point, right? Everybody should be buying another property, a rental property, an Airbnb, a buy and hold, a flip, something, right? So you can share with them properties that are available that might be good for those type of investments. Another thing that has really helped me over the years is just being a resource of vendors. Like, hey, do you know a good handyman? Do you know a good painter? Do you know a good this or that? Just say, hey guys, I just want anybody right now that's maybe looking to finish a summer project. This is a good handyman that I've vetted, and they've worked on a lot of properties for other clients and for my own. I just want to share it out there. That is great because it helps your vendors, and it also helps your database. And one of the simplest things everybody can do is, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I don't know if you're keeping tabs on what the market's doing. This is the estimated value of your property right now through a CMA. So those are 4 very simple, very quick. You can send out an email in one day. You can send out a text message. You can make a little video. So a lot of people do videos, and they're just being that resource for their audience. So has anybody done this, or anybody have been wanting to do this and think, man, what do I do, right? Where do I start? Start with just writing an email up, writing a little message up and saying, hey, I wanted to be of value, and I was looking at ways that I could help everybody right now. And pick a topic.
Yeah, guys. And can you hear me okay, Jesse? I think my volume might be down.
You're good. You're good.
I can barely hear you, but I think it's probably on my end. The one thing, Jim, I'm going to unmute you. Could you say hello real quick, just so I can hear if my volume is Jesse or?
Hello, Steve.
Okay, it's me. Anyway,
Jim's loud and clear.
Yeah, so I've got a volume issue, but I can hear okay. What I do, what I would suggest for anybody that's on this call, everybody here is with EXP. We all have KV Core. And what I've done is I put all of my past clients, my database, friends and family, into the KV Core database that they have, and you need to make sure that you select the correct category that they go into. And there's a category, I believe it's called, I believe it is called database. And so once you set that up in there, there's a template of all the different things that go out to them over the year. So you want to make sure that's set up correctly. That way they're going to get communication throughout the year if you forget. But honestly, I do that. But what I also do is I do text my database probably every 2 months. And I can tell you that, I get at least 2 deals, maybe 3 a month from doing that. Even though a lot of them don't respond back, that text message apparently always gets through, because randomly I'll get somebody that will text me and say that they want to put the property on the market or whatever. So the important thing to take away from this is, whatever you do it consistently and do it frequently. So if you do those 2 things, it doesn't really matter if you text them, you mail them a newsletter, you email them. I would suggest you definitely either call or text once every 90 days your entire database, and you could break that into 5 people a day over the year, or you can break it up however you want to. But it also doesn't hurt to make sure you have them on some sort of auto drip campaign, as far as an email or a mailer that you send out several times a year as well.
Yeah, and before we've talked to you about duplicatable time, you guys, this is one of those things that duplicates your time. You can invest in stuff that's going to be like a one-hit thing, but investing time into building and adding value and being a go-to person for your database is something that will pay you for the next decade, like a year from now, even not just a decade. It's going to keep paying you over and over again, because you were that go-to person that helped them. You reached out to them, you stayed connected with them. Even if you look at the NAR profile stats, they say most people use the agent that they worked with before if they stay in touch with them. It's like a guarantee for the next deal or the next referral if you just stay in touch. So these are things, again, for those people that are having roadblocks in their mind, because I've had those. Where I don't want to just call and ask them for business. Well, fine, ask them for business, but also add value and share something.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the mindset you can have as well, that I have, is if you're not letting the people that you know and love, or that you care about, or that you've worked with before, that know you as a professional real estate person, if you're not communicating to them what's really going on in our market, you may be doing a disservice to them. If they, because I don't watch the news. I don't know what the hell the news is saying, but I assume what the news is saying is that homes are selling, and prices are good, and rates are low, and all that kind of stuff. But the news is not always the correct information of what's really going on. So I'm reaching out to my past clients right now and saying, despite all of the negativity with the pandemic, the real estate market is surprisingly active right now.
Up and up and up and up.
If you are thinking about selling or even buying, this would probably be the best time for you to pursue that. How can I help? And, because there's people, I have clients that live out of state. They have no idea what's going on in Illinois. They think everything is, just falling off a cliff here, but it's actually a really good market right now. So it's important that you have the mindset of, this is my job. People rely on somebody that's a professional and expert in a certain field to give them the correct information. And who better to do that than somebody they trust or have done business with before? So it's very valuable, and it's important that we do that as a professional. And I think, Jesse, again, consistency of doing anything is going to outweigh the, just doing something inconsistently and randomly. So that's the important part of this. You have to be consistent and do this on a regular basis in order for it to be effective.
Which brings me to the next point. For those of you that want to take it a step further and want to really like go all in, record some videos of, or every so often, right? Every 2 weeks or so, answering their top questions. What are the frequently asked questions that you get? Again, if you don't want to go like do a bunch of research, just like you already know, hey, I get asked the same 10 questions from buyers all the time. I get asked the same 10 questions from sellers all the time. Answer those questions. What is an appraisal? What is a contingency? What do you do in a multiple offer situation?
Yeah. What do I do if I want to buy a house, but I, want to find the house before I sell mine? What does that look like?
Those are frequently
there's
asked
so
questions.
many different topics you can go over.
Yeah. And so there is a company, Viral Marketing, that actually they specialize in just answering the frequently asked questions that people ask. Record a like 2 to 5 minute video and send that out every 2 weeks. And that's all they do. And guess what? People get a lot of repeat business because they're just answering those questions. If you don't know what people are asking, you can go to a website like answerthepublic.com. You go in here, you just type in,
Hey, that's me with hair. When did we record that, Jesse? A couple years ago, before I started in real estate.
You could go to somewhere like Answer the Public. I actually got some great pictures of you with hair, man.
I know you do.
It was, definitely pre-2017, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
And
hair wasn't looking that good. My hair hasn't looked that good in about 10 years. So,
I'm doing a good job keeping the grays out of mine. So you can come to Answer the Public, and this is essentially like a Google search, and it tells you what are people typing into search engines about this topic. They want to know what's the real estate market's like. What's the real estate market like right now? What's the real estate market like in your city? What's the real estate market? These are just variations of what people are typing into like Google, right? They want to know. It just to give you a prompt starter, right? You could do a video like this for every single city that you cover every month. You
hey guys, I know that Viral Marketing will charge you $5,000 to do this. We have the ability to do something like this. I believe it's free. Don't quote me on that, but KV Core has a service, or they have the ability now that we can record a video and send that out.
I heard about that. I have not looked in depth on that.
So if you're saying, well, I can't afford that, or it's too much, or I don't know how to do it, go to KV Core and search. There you go. Search KV Core video email. It might be through BombBomb, which is fairly inexpensive. There's a lot of people in our group that do use this, and I love it. I actually need to start using this myself. BombBomb is one of those services where even if you have to pay for it, if it's like, I don't know, if it's probably less than $50 a month, it's probably worth it, because people are going to open up these emails when they get a video from you. And I believe you can track whether or not they've looked at the email or open it up or not and watch the video. That's huge.
I think KV Core I think they give you like so many videos free or so many. So
yeah, it's $35.
Yeah.
It's worth it then. That'd be one of those things I would suggest is worth it. If you do it consistently, that's the key. So let's move on, guys. I mean, we all know it's important to follow up with our database. If you don't have a huge database, we've always suggested that you try to add as many people to that on a weekly basis as you can. I know for a fact that John Sy has something like 800 or 900 people in his database, and that's where he gets 90% of all his business. And the guy, makes a couple $1 million a year just from that. So it's possible to run your entire business just from your database. A lot of people do it over time. One of the things I want to talk about real quick is I've been hitting the phones a lot harder lately, and the more things change, the more they stay the same. Just wanted to test out the old Extreme Agents blueprints to see if it still works effectively, and I'm here to report that it does. So anybody that's on this call, I'm gonna stress again, anybody that's on this call, if you follow what we say, if you read that book, if you take our advice, you can make over $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year starting today. And this is not a sales pitch. This is facts. This is reality. I've been on the phone consistently for many years, and I jumped back into it here recently, making 25 contacts a day. I've taken several listings over the last couple of weeks, and not because I'm some sort of genius or expert or badass on the phone. It's very simple. It's very simply that I'm taking the action on a consistent daily basis. I've talked to several for sale by owners and expireds over the last 2 weeks that nobody else has talked to, and they're ready to sell. I mean, it blows me away. So, of course, are there a bunch of people call every negative thing that I can think of or you can think of in your head is probably true, but all that matters is that you take the action and just make the phone call, because every shot you don't take, you're going to miss. And I can tell you there's some real easy open net shots out there if you do this on a daily basis and make 20 or 25 contacts, period. So what are the objections that I'm getting? Same shit, different day. A lot of people right now, what are we, September? Oh my God. Hey, this is Steve. Jesse, why don't we role play an expired or canceled listing that gives them the objection of, yeah, we're going to wait till spring.
All right, I'm going to wait.
So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Steve with eXp Realty. I noticed that your property was just pulled off of the computer, and I was wondering if your plans to sell had changed, or if you might be interviewing to find a new agent to get the home sold for you.
Well, we're not, I'll be honest, you're like the third call I've got. We're not really ready because we know it's kind of the end of summer. So we're just going to take a break and probably wait a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm only the third call. Wow, well that's not too bad. And you've decided to go ahead and wait for now because it's summer. The summer's over with.
Yeah, we're gonna wait till spring. I mean, that's kind of ideal.
Wait till spring. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. And I was curious, if you had sold the home, where were you planning to move to next? What were your plans?
Well, we're tired of the cold. We're going down to Texas now. So, but
you and everybody else.
I
think there's a wagon train heading that way right now.
Yeah. Well, one more winter for us.
One more winter for you. Well, that's interesting. Is it Jesse? My name was Steve, by the way. Jesse?
Nice to
okay.
meet you. Yeah.
Jesse, I can appreciate the thought process there, and I'm sure you're frustrated your home didn't sell. Is there any reason that you were given why it didn't sell?
They just said that, market wasn't, bringing a lot of people. So kind of said we didn't have a lot of showings. We had one open house. Yeah. It wasn't that great.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like maybe the agents were not aggressively getting people into the house to look at it.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely be looking for somebody next time, come probably January, February, we'll start looking around.
I can understand that. And it sounds frustrating, Jesse. What surprises me is we're seeing quite a bit of activity right now in the market. And in fact, there's a big need for listings on the market because everything we have is sold. Everything is selling quickly. Now, is there any particular reason other than the fact your home did not sell that you want to wait until next spring? Is there a condition because of that?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, there's the election coming up, which gets us a little nervous. But really, we just thought that's the best time to sell. We thought that's what we always have heard.
Well, I will agree with you that there's a lot of headwinds that we're facing with the election and uncertainty with this pandemic. And Jesse, I'm here to tell you that this may be the best market we've seen in the last 10 years. So if we were able to get your home sold in the next 30 days to get you the price that you and your family felt comfortable with and get you on that next flight down to Texas for the winter, would you prefer to do that, or would you rather roll the dice and wait until spring?
No, we'd rather be there right now. We'd rather be there enjoying the weather there instead of getting ready for another cold winter.
You and me both. You and me both. I understand completely. Jesse, I'm not, you know, I'm not giving you a sales pitch here. I'm just want to give you the facts and let you know that there's been no better time for homes selling in the area. And I want to look at the value of your home to see if we're able to help you. And if all the stars align and the pricing and everything makes sense, we'd love to work with you. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my research. And would you be available at 5 o'clock today if I was to come out and take a look at the house?
You know what? Probably 5:30 would work great because my
Okay.
wife's going to be ready then.
All the decision makers would be there at 5:30?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and run some information. If I have any questions between now and then, is this the best number to reach you at that I just called you on?
Yeah, I don't know how you got it, but this is my cell phone. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put you down for 5:30. Again, my name is Steve Merritt with eXp Realty, and Jesse, I look forward to seeing your wife then. I will touch base with you before I come out.
Okay.
Is there any questions before we hang up?
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, you can come take a look at it.
Okay, great. All right, so that's a very typical expired, even a FSBO call these days. Surprisingly enough, people are. I think everybody's thinking the same thing. Nobody knows where this market's going, but as a professional real estate agent, we understand where it is right now, and homes are selling. All right, people understand that home prices may not be where they are 2-3 months, 6 months from now, as they, as good as they are right now. So urgency is key, guys. Pick up the phone and call some expired and canceled, and just, try to relate to them, ask them questions about what their needs are, what they're looking for. A lot of people are saying that, if they have a condition as to why they're not selling now, well, we wanted to sell because, before the school year started because our kids are in school. We're not moving while the kids are in school. That's a condition, okay? An objection is just a question in their mind. Jesse gave me an objection. The objection was, well, we want to wait till spring. So in his mind, he questions whether or not he can sell his house now or if he has to wait till spring. Well, we're here to give him the information that homes are selling right now. And there's no reason to wait till spring unless he has a condition on why he has to do that. So, sometimes it just takes asking a couple more questions. And a lot of times, I'll be honest with you, I don't follow every step by step on every call because everyone's a little bit different. But the key is you want to ask the right questions, listen, and damn it, you want to set an appointment. If you don't set an appointment, nothing's going to happen. You can set an appointment. I set appointments all day long. I set 2 today already. Will I go on to these? I probably will, but sometimes I'll set 2 or 3 appointments. Then I go back and do the research and I find out that there ain't no way in hell I'm going to sell that house anywhere near what they're looking for. So I call them and I say, hey, John, I want to be upfront with you. I looked at the pricing and I don't want to overpromise and say I could do something I can't do. This is what I feel I could sell your house for, somewhere around this price. Does that make sense for you? Should we still meet at 2 o'clock? And if they say, hell no, I can't sell it for any less than this, no problem. I appreciate the opportunity, but let's go ahead and cancel the appointment. If anything changes, let me know. So a lot of times you look at the information, you cancel the appointment. So what? That's why you keep making your phone calls until you're done with your contact number, and then you do your research, right, Jesse?
Yeah, and one of the things that if you guys noticed that Steve did is he came back to my motivation. He came back to over and over again. He did. Hey, I heard there's a wagon going. There's a flight you need to get on. Like he kept saying, hey, you don't want to spend another winter, right? He's coming back to the motivation, which is all that matters. If they're motivated. If they're not motivated, you probably don't want to go on that appointment. It's probably a waste of your time, right? Because that's all that matters. If they're motivated to sell and they want to get out of where they're at, and I'm in California, there's a ton of people that are leaving and they're tired of being here where it's fires and smoke and taxes. So guess what? I play on that. That's motivation. Let's get you out of here, right?
Absolutely. That's, The people obviously had their home on the market for a reason initially. They didn't just do it on a whim. There's some FSBOs that do. They put it on Zillow just to see what will happen. But I even call them because you never know if somebody just put their house on Zillow to test the market for 24 hours before they find an agent. It happens every day. So I always call those for sale by owners the first day, and a lot of them will say, "What, you know, this is Steve with eXp Realty. I was calling about the house for sale at 123 Main Street. Did I reach the owner?" Yes. Great. Well, the reason I was calling, I work with a lot of buyers and sellers in the area, and I'm working with several right now that are looking for a home in your area. I was just wondering if I could help you sell your house. And usually they say, "Well, I just put it on the market today, but you know, blah, blah, blah." And then I have people that say, "Yeah, I just threw it up there and I've actually got 2 appointments with agents. So what time can you come over?" Happened to me last week, a couple times. And I also talked to one that said, "Yes, we just got back into town today. I just put it on Zillow, but we need to get an agent. So yeah, you can come over at 5. Listing." You just never know unless you make the phone call. So don't let the drunk monkey in your head prevent you from making the call, like I've done in the past, and then regret it later. Because most of these people are putting their house out there because they want to sell or have to sell. That's the bottom line.
Chapter 8, we have a bunch of little questions you can ask them to dig for that motivation. What's important to you about X? Why, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about moving to X? Like, chapter 8 has a lot of great questions about motivation. So key in all of this.
All right, let's take some questions. I got off on a tangent there. And is there any questions from anybody? Let me see if I can get to that screen.
Where do we get that book, Steve?
Jesse, where do they get the book?
ExtremeAgentsBlueprint.com.
Okay.
That's the title of the book. If you go to ExtremeAgentsBlueprint.com, you can go there. If you want to email me, I'll send you a digital version of it.
Yeah, Pete, we'll send you a free digital version. If you email me or Jesse and ask for it, we'll get it for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And there's no rocket science in that book. It's very here's what I've done over the last 7-8 years. Here's what I learned in coaching. If you apply it, you can do the same thing.
Cool.
Cheers.
Awesome. How you doing, Pete? You all right, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah,
I know you are.
I'm pretty happy.
Good. I see you're closing deals, so that always makes life good.
Yeah, I'm closing deals, but I'm not making a lot of calls. I need to start making some calls.
Well, no time like the present, man. Call your database. You've got a lot of past clients and sphere of influence that would love to hear from you. Just commit to make 5 calls a day for the next month. And I guarantee you, if you do that, you're going to get probably 5 more deals before the end of the year, listings.
Yeah, I just gotta do it. I always think about it and then something stops me.
I understand. Well, whatever you're doing is working. So just don't quit, man. Keep doing it.
Well, that means I don't make phone calls. I just go on referrals then.
There you go. Well, you got a lot of referrals then. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with
that. All green money.
You've been in the business a while.
All right, thanks.
All right, good stuff, man. I appreciate it, Pete. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, Steve, when you're calling the expireds and the cancels, how are you getting their phone numbers if they're not in Remind?
So it's a great question, Rick. There's several resources you can use for that. You can get Red X. That's going to be about $500-600 a month. You can get Vulcan 8, I believe it is. That's what I have. And if you get either one of those, both of those have a dialer. I don't know if Vulcan has a 3-line dialer or not. They have maybe a 2 or 1.
I think it's 2 and 1. Yeah.
Okay. My suggestion is probably go with Red X. That's where you're going to get the best numbers. There's other resources out there, but the easiest, quickest way is to get Red X or Vulcan and then call from there. And personally, I use Vulcan, and then I use Mojo Dialer, which is probably the most expensive way to do it. But I'm just so used to the Mojo Dialer. I've got 10,000 contacts in there that I just hate to lose, just in case I ever decide to call them. I'm just used to using their calendar when I make my calls. It's just real easy for me. So,
Cool. Thank you.
yep. If anybody's going to get one of those dialers or get one of those services, just email me and ask me beforehand, because there's a couple that suck. I can't remember what they are right now.
Land Voice
Really
sucks.
good.
I had that one.
Land Voice.
Yeah.
Never heard anything real great about Land Voice, so get rid of that. Yeah, don't get that. All right, any other questions?
Cool.
Guys, I practice what I preach, okay? Almost practice what I preach. Minimum of 20 contacts a day before 12 o'clock. I did not get them done, but I am going to. I will not go one working day this year without making 20 contacts the rest of the year. So I got 3 more to go. I've already set 2 appointments, and here's what happens, just to give you a little motivation. I've been a lazy son of a bitch off and on this year, you know, and I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I've been doing a lot of other things. You know, I've been trying to do, I've been helping guys with coaching, agent attraction, this, that, the other. But the real meat and potatoes for me is calling people and doing what I know how to do best. So now that I made that decision mentally and I put that out there, the physiology changes a little bit. People, believe it or not, I don't care if you think I'm hokey pokey, the universe, the physiology, the vibe that I put out there when I'm on the phone now is completely different than it was when I didn't give a shit 2 months ago. All right. Now that I care and it comes across, I'm getting people calling me wanting to list their house. That's always, every time, how it works. Okay. I'm getting people setting appointments with ease and with flow. And that's because I made a decision to upgrade what the fuck I'm doing and take it back to the next level. So if you guys make that decision and you put the effort towards it, it's going to happen 100% of the time. But until you actually make that decision and put it out there, nothing's going to happen. You have to have a desire, a focus, and you got to make that decision full-hearted, all in, and it'll happen.
Law of attraction.
There you go. That's it, baby. So if anybody has any questions after that, just give me a holler, email or text me, because I will be on the phone for the next at least 30 minutes to get these 3 contacts done. Over and out.
Bam.
Bam.
Fist bump.
Thanks.